Welcome back, everybody, to The Messenger. I'm Caleb Brewer. Today we went around campus asking if students believe that community college gets a bad rep. And then finally, we interviewed Ann Turney to see what is being done to make that stigma less. So do you think that the community college gets a bad rep?
I do believe so. I mean, if you go, like I talk to my grandparents all the time, they always give me weird looks that I'm in a community college, not like at a 4-year or something big like KU. I just think it's based on just the community in general. I feel like it just gets a bad look because like you go to KU and you see tons of people together partying and just talking well. And I feel like you go here and it's just, you don't feel that same vibe as compared to a bigger school.
Growing up, I grew up in Lawrence, Kansas, so with KU obviously, and most of the people there always, thought this was the place, like you had to go, and no one ever mentioned Johnson County or schools like this in general, so.
I didn't think so. I never heard anyone talk bad about a community college. I mean, different colleges have different reps, but I've only heard good things from this one, so.
I would agree that yes, because I feel like anytime I tell anyone over the age of like 40 that I'm going to community college, they're like, oh, there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm always like, I didn't say there is anything wrong with it, but I feel like there's definitely that like implication that it's less than other 4-year schools.
I definitely agree. I've had the same reactions from, parents and grandparents and relatives and all that. And I think, like, even from my own experience, I thought that it was less than or for people who didn't know what they wanted to do. But I realize now, like, from coming here, that's not the case.
It's definitely less accepted to go straight out of high school to a community college than it is to go to a university, because like people think there's less of like a community or like social life that happens, and it's also like a lot cheaper. You don't live on campus, so then there's also that where you're not getting like the actual college experience. So it is different. There's a little bit of stigma there.
So I think there are a lot of cultural factors that play into why community colleges get a bad rap. When you look at larger state schools, the athletics, the notoriety it gets from that, and a lot of times community colleges don't get that notoriety, and that kind of plays into students then thinking, okay, community college is maybe my second option.
Do you think there's any way that people can fix the bad rep that community college gets, or do you think there's anything the college can do?
Students here, I feel like we can just get more involved. I think that's the best idea. We have so many things. They do a lot, like volleyball, basketball, all the intramural sports, all that, have so many clubs. So I think if we can just join and truly get involved in that, that'd make a big difference. I have trouble realizing what events are open. So like I feel like making it more clear, like what like clubs to go to or what events to do, I think making that more clear would help a lot, getting more people in.
I think there's always room to grow for like both sides. Either people who are enrolling in college can learn more about different community colleges, or the community college itself can start like, I don't know, hyping itself up a little bit more, finding more reasons for people to join the community college rather than like some college like Harvard or like Princeton or like some high college.
Well, I can speak, I guess, specifically for student life in terms of trying to fix that. And a lot of that is just by providing all of the opportunities through events and clubs and organizations and just the general campus vibe. Like the volleyball court. I was walking past that today with somebody, and we didn't have that 8 years ago when I started here. And that changes the culture of campus. It's not, campus isn't just a collection of buildings where students come and go. It's now a place where some students are able to stay and have fun. And you'll see that on 4-year institutions because they have more housing and there's more of that, you live right there by the institution, whereas community college tends to be more of a commuter feel. And so by creating intentional spaces on campus for students to stay, hang out, study, spend time before, after classes can kind of help break that down, that community college is just a stopping place rather than a place to really launch your future career and the rest of your life.
Not that I can think of. I mean, I feel like it would be better if it was more common knowledge that like a lot of the professors here also teach at other 4-year universities. Like I feel like a lot of the professors I've had also teach at KU, or they also teach at K-State, or they do like other 4-year universities. So it's like we're getting the same education as we would if we went and took the class for a lot more expensive at a different school. So
Adding on to that, a lot of the professors that I have had, they have like PhDs from, really high-end schools. Like my art history professor, she got her PhD in Italy. So you're definitely getting the same experience and the same quality of education just for like a cheaper price and closer to home.
I think that the college, like JCCC in particular, has done a pretty good job about still creating a sense of community and having different events and that sort of thing. But I think that like people just kind of have to change their thinking. And I think that the college has done, like with the different events and things, has definitely moved in the step towards the right direction of like erasing that stigma or at least limiting it. But like it's really up to people to kind of like change their thinking.
I think it's difficult to communicate at any type of institution, whether it's a community college, a four-year institution, especially one of our size. We have a lot of students. We don't have housing, so we don't have like a built-in place where every student is going, whether that's like a cafeteria at a residence hall or the residence halls themselves. So a few things that we try to do to combat that. We have Get Involved at JCCC, so it's our online involvement platform, and we try to just plaster that everywhere. It's a single place that students can go to see student events, clubs, and organizations. And so trying just to get that phrase, like Get Involved at JCCC, really integrated into the campus culture, and then tell students what Get Involved at JCCC actually means is one thing that we're constantly doing. And a lot of that work is done by our student life ambassadors when they're talking with peers in their classes. We ask faculty to make announcements so that when they're seeing their classes, that's the most captive audience is in the classroom. So we ask faculty to kind of help promote those things. We also have a weekly newsletter that goes out on Canvas. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's just at the top of your Canvas screen. It's those announcements. So that's everything for students that week. The TV screens around campus have a running list. And then something new we're trying out. We're always trying to push students to our social media because we know that's where students live. We're most active on Instagram, but we are starting to do weekly videos that just break down like, hey, here's a quick snippet of what's happening this week. Sometimes people respond more to like a social media video than just a stagnant like another email or another notification that comes across. So far those videos have been pretty fun, and I hope that catches on for the rest of the year.